Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to this week's episode of the Four Corners Podcast. My name is John, and I am your host who butters his toast. I don't usually use butter. I'm not a big butter fan, actually.
That's surprising.
It's surprising, yeah.
You guys can't talk until I introduce you guys.
Sorry.
And I'm joined by my beautiful co-host, Damien.
I don't want to see you. I want to see Ethan.
Oh, I'm the host of the show.
Terrible host.
No, I'm not.
Okay, whatever you believe.
Nick?
I wish Ethan was here.
I wish Ethan was here too.
Yeah.
We are also short once again, but nobody knows that until right after. We're gonna have to do a doubleheader. Valentine's Day messed up my recording schedule. Or not my recording schedule, my editing schedule, I should say.
Or you're just lazy.
Dang.
Well,
Because you had Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday,
let's see,
Monday,
Damien.
Tuesday.
I do literally.
Oh, here we go.
Oh,
the
you
work.
do so
He
much
only complains about when it's
stuff.
convenient to complain about it. Whenever we're grilling him. Oh, I do all this work. Oh my god.
Nick, what do you do for
Why don't
the
you ask
show?
for help? Why don't you ask us to do stuff with you?
I have asked, and you guys do nothing except
Okay.
grill me
Okay.
when I miss 1 week. 1 week. Is that a train in the background?
Yeah, it was a train.
Okay, maybe that's a sign that we should stop fighting and talk about fighting instead.
Fake fighting.
Fake fighting, for sure. Fake fan.
Wait, wrestling's fake?
Wrestling
Wait a second.
Wrestling is scripted. But this week, we had the go-home show on Raw for Elimination Chamber. I believe the last Raw pay-per-view.
Yep.
For the foreseeable future.
Yep.
Right?
Yes.
An interesting pay-per-view to leave off on. But what an incredible go-home show, boys.
Was it?
I thought so.
I thought the first match was good.
Well,
The rest of it was
Half of the first
terrible.
match was good, I guess.
yeah, I mean, it was different.
Yeah.
It felt...
I appreciated the format, yes.
Yeah. So, we had the longest longest match in the history of Raw this past week. I don't know why I can't pull up my notes right now. They are not coming up. But we had the Gauntlet match between the 7 superstars that will be in the men's Elimination Chamber. I don't remember the exact order, but I believe it was Cena and Seth first, right? No, Cena and Roman.
It was Roman,
No.
Seth.
Or Roman and Seth. I don't know why I said Cena.
Yeah. And then it was Cena, Elias.
So Seth pinned Roman clean.
Yeah, he rolled him up. He didn't do a blackout or stomp or anything, but he rolled him up.
Still,
Yeah.
there was no shenanigans.
Yes.
He just beat him.
Very clean.
Surprisingly. I mean, I don't think any of us were expecting Roman to win this Gauntlet match because, I mean, we're all
Because he's
expecting,
gonna win
he's
Sunday.
gonna win
we're all
Sunday.
expecting him to win Sunday. But for him to go out first is
Yeah,
surprising. And
I thought maybe
not,
he'd go the whole way to Braun and lose to Braun.
and to not take anybody out at
Yeah.
all.
Very strange.
Very strange indeed. But I guess Seth Rollins would be considered the Iron Man of this Gauntlet match,
Yeah.
as he went up against Super Cena next. And it
They had a great match, those two did.
was like a 30-minute match, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Those two killed it.
And Seth beat him with the stomp, I guess
Yes.
they're calling it now, right?
The stomp.
The stomp, that's awful, dude. The curb
knee,
stomp.
the stomp.
Yeah, the curb stomp adds it adds a lot of grit.
Just
and a
call it
lot
the
of-
blackout. The blackout's cool.
The blackout's cool too.
Makes
but-
sense. They get knocked out, blackout.
I mean, fair enough.
Whatever.
But yeah, we had Seth being the Iron Man of the match because he did last a whole 65 minutes. Is
About
that what I
65.
Let's say, is that what I said earlier?
Yeah.
Beating Rey Mysterio's record of being in a match the longest, which is a Royal Rumble, which
is crazy.
That's incredible. But I think a lot of people are surprised as to who Seth lost to. I know that they were playing off the whole he's exhausted type of
Yeah.
deal, but then he loses to Elias.
I was pretty mad about that, to be honest. I was confused because they look identical. So when they were wrestling in the ring, I was like, oh my god, who's who? Who's winning?
And I think they've been giving Elias a lot of fluke wins. So
Yeah.
he's been getting a lot of big name wins, but they've been fluky, if that makes any sense.
And he's weird with me because it's like, I love his character and his gimmick, but in the ring, I just really don't care for him.
I don't think he's that bad.
I'm not saying he's bad, but
he's
it's just
not
like,
top tier by any means.
Like he doesn't do anything special to me.
He didn't get to sing a song this week.
I'm hoping at Mania he gets like a big match or a big moment that puts him over as a good worker, or in the chamber even. That'd be cool, because he needs that kind of defining moment that he's ready for the next level, aside from his guitar gimmick.
Yeah. So, and then Elias ended up going against
Finn Balor.
Finn Balor, yes. Finn
beat him clean with the coup de grace.
Or as Corey Graves called it, the coup de grace.
He does every single time.
Does he?
Yeah, he
I
always
guess I
says
don't pay attention.
coup de grace, coup de grace.
Does he do it on purpose? Is that his thing?
I don't know. He does it in the video game too, so I don't know.
He's got.
He probably did it once, and then they're like, just butcher it every single time.
That's a funny gimmick to do.
Yeah.
Finn Balor. Hopefully he does well in the Elimination Chamber.
I hope so. He deserves it.
And then Finn Balor
got jumped.
Got jumped. Yeah, so the Miz Taraj comes out to Miz's music, and Finn Balor is obviously distracted by that, and then Miz attacks him from behind. It's hopefully setting up their little thing.
I really hope so.
I know that they've been talking about, or the rumors, the dirt sheets have been talking about Miz and Finn Balor for the IC title.
I would much prefer that to the other rumor with Braun Strowman and Miz.
I mean, I would like to see Braun in a position like that, but
I feel like it'd be like a recreation of the Chavo and Kane match from Mania 24, I think, or 25. I'm not sure. 25 maybe,
either.
But it was like a 4-second squash.
Damien, you look so tired, buddy.
I am. I've been driving back and forth from Greensburg to.
Why did you go home? I don't know why you
Macy's brother had senior night last night, so I went to support him. You remember my brother
senior
that you
night
thought?
For basketball?
No, he's in the band, so.
Nice.
Shout
out to the band.
Yeah, shout out to the band. I don't really care about the boys'
the band.
basketball team anymore, but the ladies' basketball team there is pretty good.
What does he play?
The trumpet.
Trumpet.
Yeah, he's pretty good.
Is he?
Yeah.
Where do we go? We had the Miz,
yes.
And then the Miz beautifully played off Braun Strowman's music. Oh well, he ended up beating Finn.
Beat Finn. I didn't see how he did it, but I guess it was dirty.
It was dirty. They distracted him, and then skull crushing finale.
Yeah.
And then pinned him. So, but it was probably no. I guess Finn Balor wouldn't have been that exhausted because he was only in one
compared to Seth.
Yes,
and he beat
fresh.
Elias relatively quickly, as opposed to the other mini matches in the Gauntlet match.
Yeah.
So yeah, Miz pinned Finn. That was hard. That was honestly very hard to say.
Miz pin Finn.
Miz pin Finn. And then of course, last. Did you guys notice that the crowd was chanting "We want Braun" like in the middle?
Yeah.
Of it? He is so ridiculously over.
And you could tell like the crowd kind of got bored after Seth got out, and it was just Elias and Finn. So like the crowd was ready to see their guy.
They were.
Come back.
Hold on. We'll. So Braun comes out and obviously murders Miz. Miz did get a really cool skull crushing finale in though.
It happened so fast I didn't get to see it. Like he's too tall. He can't. The move is a full Nelson facebuster. He can't put him in a full Nelson. He's too tall. Like
I know, and it was funny because Braun like jumped into it. Like he didn't. It didn't.
He like squat down to get the full Nelson in.
And then Braun just beautifully picked him up and threw him through the ropes.
Yes.
I mean, it was a little
on
bit
top
botched.
of the Miz Taraj.
Yeah, it was a little bit botched. It wasn't as beautiful as I'm sure they meant to do, but Braun Strowman can do no wrong. Braun Strowman comes out victorious in the Gauntlet match. Interested to see there. I honestly thought Braun was going to be the Iron Man of that, but we had Seth, and a lot of people are back on the Seth train.
Welcome aboard, everybody. Welcome back. I'm stoked. Like I saw a lot of like it was kind of hyperbolic, but people that were saying like this is his career-defining moment. Like this is him going forward as the Seth Monday Night Rollins character.
Well, people were comparing it to Chris Jericho being The Rock and Stone Cold in the same night.
Except in this case, it's like 2 clean wins as opposed to I think Jericho had interference with Booker T and Kurt Angle. I think back then. And this was just straight up clean, beat the 2 top guys in the company.
Which, I mean, John Cena has been losing recently.
And after he got eliminated, he did say he's not really focused on wrestling right now.
Right. Which
we'll talk about that, I guess, eventually.
do you really like Seth, don't you, Damien?
Yeah.
Okay.
I like Seth.
Yeah.
I like Seth too. It was weird when I got in because Seth wasn't like the guy that like everybody had.
Mm-hmm.
Well, you missed a long period
Yeah.
of him being champion
Yeah.
and the whole Shield. What's the word I'm looking for?
The breakup.
The breakup.
Yeah.
Yeah.
See, for me, it's like I've been wanting Seth to be this not underdog, but this like triumphant babyface since the Shield first broke up. I wanted him to turn face when the Shield broke up, but that obviously didn't happen. Because like to me, I see like that Jeff Hardy 2008-2009 era where he was the underdog face in the company. All the kids loved him. I think Seth could do that as the high flying babyface. And I think this is the step in that direction finally. Now that he's on the same tier now as Cena and Roman.
And Damien, like you were saying, I missed just about everything.
Yeah, you missed him on top.
I got into it when he was feuding with Triple H for Mania match
For like 6 months.
Yeah, and I had to learn to like him. Like I've never disliked him or anything like that, but I had to learn to like him. I didn't get, you know what I mean, the full exposure to him. But then obviously I was able to go back and see some other stuff. And last night was definitely Monday Night Rollins.
Yes.
Yeah.
Now, the question is, do you boys think they're going to go anywhere with that momentum? Because we've seen time and time again where it looks like WWE is going to do something with them and then just right back down the toilet.
I'm going to save it for my finisher.
Oh, it's your finisher.
Yeah.
Okay. Damon, do you have any thoughts, bub?
Well, since they're doing, Roman and Brock at WrestleMania, I don't think there's really room for Seth unless they really want to bring him into the match and make it a triple threat match.
That'd be awesome. That's not my finisher.
Oh, that's not
That'd be
your
awesome.
finisher.
No, I have an
Okay.
alternate.
But,
Okay.
no, I mean, were you thinking something along those lines? Because there's nothing really for Seth to do right now.
Yeah.
And I don't know what
certainly
his road to
deserves to be in that
WrestleMania,
match.
unless I've also seen that if The Rock cannot go with Ronda Rousey,
I don't want to see Seth and
that
Triple H
Seth and-
again.
yeah, that's what I'm
That would
saying. Yeah.
suck.
Well, I've heard if they can't get The Rock, then Angle would be in there instead
Well,
of...
I prefer that, to be honest.
I
I prefer
that.
that because Seth
I don't need to see
deserves
Seth
more.
versus
I
Triple
mean,
H and Stephanie part
Triple
2.
H is one of the safest workers. So as much as I would like to see Angle being able to go at 100%, I know that he cannot.
Yeah, that was the original rumor this past summer was
Right,
Angle
was-
versus Triple H.
in a singles
Yeah,
feud.
because Triple H is safe.
They could probably do a triple threat match for the Intercontinental Championship.
That'd be good too.
Finn, Miz, and Seth.
That'd be good too.
That'd be fine. I'd be interested to see how they work that into it. Unless, I mean, and that's a good opportunity for the Elimination Chamber this weekend.
Yes.
Is that I think that we will see exactly where they plan on going with it, because when it comes to WrestleMania, WWE has a tendency to set those feuds early and then kind of bring them up because it is the biggest show of the year and you do want as much story as you can into that. So I think Elimination Chamber is definitely going to be a good indicator.
Definitely.
But yeah, as I was saying, I'm not sure exactly if WWE is going to be pushing them the way that we thought. I mean, you thought that with Apollo Crews, but
Who's Apollo Crews?
So speaking of Apollo Crews,
Never heard of him.
a couple of sleuths on the internet. I don't know how people figure this stuff out so quickly.
Yeah.
I guess there was
they're
like
just
an email.
looking up what?
I saw something about an email that WWE sent out to like some.
I thought that they just okay. So a couple of sleuths found out that WWE, which they do this often.
I mean, Luke Harper, Eric Rowan just had it.
Just
Harper and Rowan.
I was gonna say they have dropped Apollo Crews.
There's a list of names that have lost part of their name.
Apollo, Elias,
Rusev, Cesaro, Big E, Neville. There's a whole list of them.
What do you got? Like, I mean, I know Nick, you were saying that like they should do something with Apollo Crews.
This is the year of Apollo.
Apollo, I should say.
This is the year of Apollo.
You really think?
Yeah.
Like, you think like what, IC title or something?
We'll talk about that later.
Okay. Okay.
Don't worry.
Oh, is that another finisher?
Not a finisher, but
Not a
don't
finisher.
worry.
Is it a signature move then?
Sure.
Okay. I mean, I like Apollo. It's just his character is so bland. Am I wrong?
Yeah.
No, you're not wrong.
No.
Okay. He's one of those white meat smiling baby faces that makes me want to throw up.
I like him with Titus Worldwide, though. I think he's in the right direction with them.
Yeah, and I mean, I like Titus. Like, I don't have a problem with Titus at all.
Well, he has a last name still. He's Titus O'Neil.
Yeah, Titus O'Neil. I've always just called him Titus, though.
Yeah.
But what we did also get on Raw was news of a very, very controversial, surprising Hall of Fame inductee this year. Double J.
The founder of TNA.
The founder of TNA. A lot of people have been bringing up the firing of Jeff Jarrett, how it was so deliberate. Vince McMahon was so deliberate in his firings of Jeff Jarrett that it's like, we thought there was bad blood. You know, like, I'm sure
there is, to a
especially
degree.
Because of the Matt Hardy. That was the most recent thing, was the legal battle between the two that Jeff Jarrett was still relatively involved with.
Yes.
Did you guys get to see a lot of Jeff Jarrett stuff? Because I honestly did not get to see a whole lot.
I've seen more of him in TNA than I've seen in WWE.
When I was a kid, a little bit, but I really didn't care because it was just, he was like in the Intercontinental scene. Me, I was a big fan of, like, you know, the big names like, you know, The Rock, Stone Cold, Triple H, and all those guys. So really didn't get to see a whole lot, or I didn't really pay attention to that.
And I don't want to ask this in the wrong way because I don't want to say he's not deserving of it. I know that he obviously is another generational family of wrestlers. He's in there. He's done a lot for the wrestling business. He did create TNA, which, I mean, is one of the biggest, I guess, quote-unquote, competitors to WWE. What are your guys' thoughts about WWE putting him in there? Exactly. Not to say that he's not deserving of it, but...
Never say never, John. That's all I have to say.
Yeah, I'm pretty indifferent about it, to be honest. Like, I never really cared for him either way. But I guess if he's in, then good for him.
I don't really have an opinion.
Well, because I watched a TMZ video. Ugh, makes me cringe saying TMZ video. But they were asking Jeff Jarrett about his Hall of Fame induction, and he was really thankful. He seemed genuinely thankful,
as he should be, because he's being welcomed back.
Yeah,
after everything he did.
Yeah, and not even. I mean, the road was both ways.
Yeah.
Between the two. I mean, there was a lot of vitriol between the two, a lot of hatred between the two.
Yes.
But
so much that he started his own company to compete against them.
Right.
Yeah.
And
that's how much he hated.
Oh, he almost did.
Yeah, he
was
got
close.
so close.
The skin of his
It was
hair.
like,
thanks a lot, Hulk Hogan.
And it
Vince
was.
Russo
I was gonna say
Bischoff.
it's literally Vince Russo kills
Yeah.
everything. But yeah, Jeff Jarrett was just saying, he's like, you know what, like, it's crazy to think, but we've all grown from that. Like, and he literally used the quote like, it's life. He's like, life happens, and I mean, good for him. Like, I'm glad that he's in there. He did say that they did ask him. They're like, well, if I was Triple H, if I was Vince McMahon, if I was the management of WWE, what would you have to say to me right now? And he literally just said, all I can say is simply thank you.
Nice.
But with someone like Jeff Jarrett, and with as much forward animosity between the two companies and people in general, it raises the question why we aren't getting people like China.
I was about to ask you the same thing.
And I was going to ask you guys, like, on those people who are snubbed for almost no reason at all.
Who's the woman going in this year?
Ivory. Yeah. Which, deserving.
Yeah.
No,
So
she's incredible.
But China...
Do you
also
think with Jeff Jarrett that we could see China in the next couple of years or this year?
I was going to say, I was just going to ask you guys. So we did have Triple H name drop China.
So did
Stephanie.
And Stephanie. And it is the year of the women, it seems like.
Has health froze over?
Because
Jeff Jarrett, them two saying China.
And with their welcoming back page after... Because let's be fair... some of the stuff that Paige, some of those pictures that came out, that's a little worse than China. You know what I mean?
A whole lot
worse. No disrespecting of the titles and all that. I'm not going to go into details, obviously, but
no need to.
There was no real disrespect. It was a grown, consenting adult doing what she wanted to do with her life.
Yes.
And WWE, and it's surprising because she grew up in the Attitude Era, which it was totally normal for a bra and panties match, or Trish to be on her knees barking like a dog. You know what I mean?
I think that there's a Triple H quote somewhere shortly after that was released, saying that like he's just afraid of like his own kids, for example, Googling China and finding that as if the first hit. So I think it's more of like a wait and put it off longer, so that when you Google China, the first thing to come up isn't that. It's her wrestling career instead.
Is it even?
I mean, I'm sure at that point in time, whatever that was, like 5 years ago, 6 years ago, yeah, the first thing you were going to find was that. The She-Hulk, whatever it was. Sorry. That wasn't even any detail.
I know, but it's just funny.
Your face.
I know, it's just funny. But, yeah, it raises the question that, you know, someone like China, and I don't know if they will this year, but it almost seems more certain than normal, especially name dropping her, and especially Jeff Jarrett. Of all people, Jeff Jarrett. So yeah, that's gonna be a completely interesting situation.
If we don't see China, do you think we'll see another woman get inducted this year? Because you were saying that it's the year of women,
right?
Just one woman, and it's Ivory. I mean, Ivory's had a good history,
right?
But they getting a bigger name for the women, like Trish or Michelle McCool or someone else.
I was just gonna say, like, I mean, obviously, I would probably have Trish go in there first, but it almost seems too early because
they just had Trish in the Rumble too.
Yeah, and it didn't even feel like she was that old in there. You know what I mean? Like, not to say that people have to be old, because obviously the Dudleys are still doing their thing. Goldberg just wrestled.
Yeah.
But it just seems like it would be too early for Trish. So I don't know exactly who else, because there really isn't anybody else that I could think of.
I would need to see a list in front of me to know for sure who is and who isn't in.
I honestly think their best bet is going with China. You know, that would, I think that would smooth over a lot of the you know, essentially not letting her do what she wants to do as a female. You know what I mean? As a person of the female sex. You know what I mean? It seems like they were trying to like take that away from
Plus,
her.
wasn't X-Pac in one of those videos anyways?
Shawn Michaels posed for Playgirl.
Yeah, so like the guys have done pretty bad stuff to it.
The guys have done bad stuff to the girls.
Yeah,
Vince
and
McMahon
all of them
has
are
done
still
awful
loved.
things to the girls.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? They have gone through so much. But yeah, I think of any year they should do it now, especially with her recent passing. I know that a lot of people were calling for her last year to be put in there, because she did pass wasn't it like right before? I don't remember.
I think it was.
It was relatively close. But yeah, that we'll see about that. But we did mention that it is the year of the woman, and we saw that with the Women's Royal Rumble, and we are seeing that. We saw that with the Women's Money in the Bank, which we're not going to talk about. We'll just forget about that. Good old James Ellsworth. But we are going to see another step in the direction of women's wrestling in WWE, specifically with the Elimination Chamber this Sunday. Boys. Are you excited? Overall, are you excited for this pay-per-view?
No, not really.
Not really. I'm excited for the main event.
Doesn't necessarily, if it is the main event.
True. And I'm not excited for the finish. I'm excited for the match, but not. Yeah. I know what's going to happen.
Yeah. So we'll go down the card. We'll talk about each individual match. I believe Damien...
And contract signing. There's matches and a contract signing.
Yeah, and a contract signing. But Damien, I believe that you said that is it confirmed that the Bar and Titus Worldwide are going to have a match?
I saw it somewhere.
Okay. I think it's fair to assume that is a match, and I think it's also fair to assume
on the pre-show,
the kickoff show. But because it just makes sense. The Titus Worldwide got another pin while Flaky wins. That is 3 wins over the Bar.
I think it was a clean win this past Monday. I don't think there was any flakiness about it.
I mean, just like roll up. Like, it wasn't like they hit a finisher and beat them. So flaky in that sense. Not that they did anything wrong. But yeah, it's like they're just pulling fast ones on them. But yeah, Titus and Apollo, I think they should have a thing, and I personally think it's a good shake-up to the men's Raw division,
considering it's been Seth versus the Bar for 6 months.
Seth and insert person here versus the Bar for the last however long.
Yeah.
What do you guys think of Titus and Apollo being put in this situation?
It's the year of Apollo, John.
Yeah,
how many times I gotta say it? He's gonna start out with the tag team championship this year.
I just hope it wasn't a situation of like, oh man, we need a Raw title match at the Chamber. Oh, Seth's in the Elimination Chamber. Oh no, who's gonna face the Bar?
Well, there's no other like tag teams besides the Club and the Revival.
And they haven't even been. They weren't even on TV this last week. They were on TV the week before.
There was a backstage, I think, promo with the Bar calling the Revival nerds. Not the Bar, the Club calling the Revival nerds.
They had the nerd meter, and it was like,
I love
like
it.
going all the way up.
I love it.
They didn't have a match or anything.
Huh? Wait, that was this week?
I believe so. It sounds right.
Maybe that'll be on the kickoff show. We do only have
another one between those guys.
Would you be surprised?
No, not at all.
I mean, would you be like?
Not at all.
So, well, if this match does happen, Damien, who do you have winning?
Sorry, Nick. It's not Apollo's time.
Oh my God.
It is the Bar is going to win. It's the year of the Bar. But if they do lose, I'd like to see the Bar split up and those two face each other at WrestleMania.
Nick?
It's the year of Apollo, John.
You think so?
Well, yeah. I mean, take this lightly though, because like I definitely see them winning, Apollo and Titus, but then transitional champions to the Revival to get the titles because they need it to solidify themselves as the actual top guys, not just calling themselves the top guys.
Nick, I'm gonna go ahead and agree with you. I think that
Wrong.
This is rare.
I was gonna say I think that Titus Worldwide is gonna win, and I think it is transitional to the Revival, and I think it is also the catalyst for the Bar to break up and have a WrestleMania match.
That would be awesome.
I think that's what's gonna happen, and since this is the last pay-per-view before WrestleMania, when else would they lose it?
And I would love to see that match. Not as like one turn's face, one turn's heel. Just have those two go at it as friends. Just one last throwdown.
Right.
Because how long does Sheamus have?
I know Sheamus's clock is ticking. So maybe do like a career versus career or something.
I keep on forgetting about that. Yeah, they could do a career versus
anything
career.
Like that.
They really could. I think that would be a beautiful send-off.
That'd be
for
great.
Sheamus
And then
too.
you could have Cesaro win clean, look really strong. They could hug afterwards, have a good time. That'd be a great story, feel good story.
Get a babyface pop out of the two.
Yeah,
you know
and then that way Cesaro does turn face in the process.
And you could
then get pushed. You could
have
push
Sheamus.
to the moon.
You could have Sheamus come back as a manager or something.
Yeah, or something like that. There's a lot of options.
That'd be great. So yeah, I think there are a lot of factors into this, and I think that's why they've been kind of having Titus Worldwide, just eking these wins out. So yeah, I think that's what's gonna happen, and I like our fantasy booking that we got going on.
That was nice.
But one match that I'm not excited for is Bray Wyatt and Matt Hardy.
Delete
again.
Can I say delete?
Delete this.
Delete this. So we had this weird laughing feud between the two since Matt Hardy turned. And I'm not surprised that that's who they put Matt Hardy against, because I think that WWE was trying to acclimate Matt Hardy to the WWE fans, universe, whatever. And the only other weird person really is Bray Wyatt. And Bray wasn't doing anything. Goldust, I guess. But so yeah, we thought we had the blow off at Raw 25 out of the blue.
I was gonna say, do you think that this match is the blow off then? If that one,
I hope so.
Interesting.
I don't want to see it anymore. I really don't. Like, I unless what they're gonna do is have a Matt and Bray like team, like formulated team between the two, which would be fine.
Yeah, that'd be interesting. Yeah.
The only problem is they're both leaders in their own rights, and it would be weird to see either of them be subservient to the other. So whether we had the Woken family with Bray in there, or we had the Wyatt family with Woken Matt Hardy, it would be weird to see either one of those be subservient to the other.
Yeah, I don't see that going down.
But yeah, we are going to get... It was announced this week, right?
Yeah.
Of course.
What's your prediction?
You want my prediction first?
Let's kick you off with this one.
I think Matt Hardy will win. I think that the reason is I think that they'll do more stuff with Matt Hardy than they will with Bray Wyatt.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know where either of them are going to go after this. And I have no foreseeable idea if they have a role in WrestleMania, and if they do, where it is.
Armbar.
No.
I mean...
Unless they bring back all those cool tricks with Bray, and then they could probably do something with...
a Matt Hardy Bray Wyatt match at WrestleMania?
Yeah, but look at all the cool effects that they could have.
The cool effects didn't work.
I mean, the crowd liked it, but they never, carried it on.
I didn't think the crowd liked it, did they?
I mean, they were like, ooh.
Because it was new until they realized how weird it was, and then Bray Wyatt didn't even win.
I mean, it was awesome. I thought it was great.
It would have been cool if he would have won. He didn't win. It was like...
I agree.
It was like doing the distraction thing just for the person.
Well, they ruined it with him losing, but if he would have won, it would have worked.
I guess it would have been interesting, but at the same time, it's like, Bray, Bray is just one of those people that, is not believable anymore. So, yes, I have Matt Hardy winning.
Okay.
Nick, who do you have?
I think Bray's going to destroy him, pound him to a pulp, and further break or wake him or whatever, and then we're going to unlock the broken universe with the Brother Nero and the Benjamin and the Vanguard and the Compound and all that. And then, leading up to House of Horrors Part 2 at WrestleMania.
Are you serious?
Yeah,
you think
honestly,
so?
I don't know if I think so it'll happen, but I would like this to happen and, actually make it cool this time and not just half the match happen on tape and half of it happen.
I liked the House of Horror match.
I don't think that'll fly at WrestleMania, to be honest. I don't think that the crowd will take to it very well.
No, but I liked it.
Yeah.
It was new. WWE tried something different.
And I think it'll make a lot more sense with Bray and Matt as opposed to Orton and Matt. I think it fits Bray and Matt's feud. For sure. Plus with all the options with the Vanguard and all that.
Is that why you asked if you thought this was the blow-off for their feud?
Yeah.
I don't want to see Bray and Matt at Mania in any...
I only want to see it if it's a House of Horrors.
Unless they can somehow build him up between now and then. But, it's just I don't want to see Bray Wyatt anymore. It sucks to say because Bray's great.
The cool thing about Raw leading to Mania is that they usually, all have purposes. There's not a whole lot of filler on Raw leading to Mania. So I think that they're gonna insert the whole building Matt up as the Woken Universe guy now, leading up to Mania.
Yeah. Damien?
This is a tough one because
it really is a tough one, isn't it?
I don't really care who wins.
I think that's the thing is that it's not tough because you're who's gonna win. It's tough because I don't
care.
I really don't care at all.
But I mean, maybe Bray. I'll just go with Bray. With Jeff coming back soon because he's been out since October. November-ish.
September, October, I think.
Yeah.
Somewhere around there. They'll bring in the Brother Nero character soon after, probably, like Nick said, with the... Do you think, Nick, that they'll, instead of the Woken, he'll be from regular Matt Hardy, regular Matt Hardy to Woken Matt Hardy to broken
I would
Matt
like
Hardy.
to, I don't know if it'll happen or not, but I would like for that to be the outcome. So he can knock off the big white room and the laughing gimmick and have his compound and have his actual character back.
Does he steal Bray's compound? Does he just go to the...
Does he steal Sister Abigail?
I have a question.
No.
I have a question. Do you guys think that they will bring back Brother Nero or just bring back Jeff Hardy?
I mean, I think it'll be Jeff at first, and then he will what are you doing, Matt? What the heck? And then Matt will
beat him.
Take him.
How about he beats him to a pulp, and then that's when Brother Nero comes.
That'd be cool.
Yeah.
But then Matt would have to turn in that case, which would be fine by me.
Yeah, I mean that would be.
You
fine.
can't beat up Jeff Hardy and still be a face.
I'm just wondering if, because WWE has always seen Jeff Hardy as the more marketable one, the one to push the most.
I think we're past that point, though. It's like I was saying with Seth Rollins being
no, and that's
now.
what I'm saying is that WWE has always seen Jeff Hardy as a single star, and now that they know that Matt Hardy can be a single star, do you think that they would just put the two together, or even have them feud, have Jeff?
Maybe a short feud that leads to Brother Nero. That'd be kind of interesting.
Yeah,
I'm not saying they have to be a tag team again, but just as a stable again. as the woken, broken, whatever.
Yeah. I would be fine with either.
You love stables, so that probably piqued your interest.
I do love stables. They make sense.
Yeah.
Stables make sense.
And they're always fun. And
they are always fun.
Because it makes more sense to have people that have alliances in the locker room besides than everybody just like being loners in the locker room. It doesn't make any sense.
And it makes the lone wolves look better, like they're actual
like Steve Austin
wolves.
back in the day,
or even like a Baron Corbin now. Like it makes them look like, oh my gosh, he actually is a lone wolf. Besides, like everybody's
technically a lone.
Yeah, everybody's freaking lone wolves.
Yeah.
Well, that's like New Japan. New Japan, all of them are
faction warfare. Yeah.
It's all of them are,
Mm-hmm.
and I would say with WWE, like if you do have factions, you are able to make it fresh every week.
Yeah.
But they have proven that they are able to find a way to
they got factions within factions in New Japan. They have multiple factions within factions.
Hey, it works though. It works. But yeah, Cool Beans, Bray and Matt. Hopefully not at WrestleMania.
House of Horrors.
Oh yeah, that would be cool though, honestly. So, but we do have a match that I am excited about. I don't know about you guys. But we have Asuka and Nia for. So the stipulation of this match.
I'm so confused.
So Asuka is the Women's Royal Rumble winner, which means she does get her match at Mania for the title.
And
she still hasn't decided yet.
Did you watch her promo from Raw this week?
It was awful.
Yeah, but did you catch what Renee Young? Was it Renee Young that was interviewing her? Or Charlie? I don't know. Whichever one it was, she deliberately said your championship match at Mania. She didn't say if it was for the Raw or SmackDown title.
Yeah.
They're keeping it ambiguous on purpose because this whole angle is going to change after Elimination Chamber.
And it is interesting because we did have Shinsuke immediately. He's
they just started
AJ,
calling you out.
Yeah, I'm calling you out.
He doesn't even know if he's going to be champion at Mania, and he called out AJ.
Right.
That's the only name he knows.
Yeah, true.
It's 2 letters.
2 letters. You can say that.
Ouch. But yeah, we have Asuka, the Women's Royal Rumble winner, has her championship match at Mania, whatever division that may be, whatever side that may be. And we have Nia, who they deliberately said she would be put in the Raw Women's Championship match, right?
Mm.
I know that semantics are a hard thing to deal with in WWE.
That is on WWE.com. The stipulation is that Nia gets added to the Raw Women's Championship match at Mania if she wins.
Right. So I'm interested to see this match. I think it'll be a good match, honestly. I think Asuka can obviously have a good match with a broom, but I think
the two of them have wrestled before, and it was decent.
Yeah, and I think Nia can pull out something in this. Good gravy, darling.
Massive.
I know, right?
Absolute unit.
Look at the laugh. Don't you just love living right here, just in the center
night.
of a lot
That's
of
my
things?
lullaby to sleep every night.
So, we do have Nia and Asuka. Nick. No, I went with you last time.
Go with me. I
will, buddy. I will go with you.
You were first last time, John.
We are going to see Asuka beat Nia. I'm going to save this for my finisher, what my idea going forward is.
Go ahead. Nick?
I agree. I think we're going to see Asuka beat Nia just by a hair. Just like, not say beating her, but surviving her.
That's a good term.
Yeah, and then like, I'm getting into fantasy booking here, but then Asuka afterwards is like, yo, I'm not even fighting for the Raw title. And then goes to SmackDown. And then that gives Nia the argument that, hey, I took her to the very brink of losing. Put me in the match at Mania.
Yeah.
Makes sense.
I think it's cool. I agree. I don't think, as much as you guys know that I love Nia, I don't
sure
love her.
do.
I don't love her.
Nah,
but I like her.
You do. I heard you during Raw.
I like her. I don't think she's the person to beat Asuka. I think there are definitely better choices, especially on a technically B show pay-per-view. I just don't think so. Nick, hello, honey.
I'm sorry, I tried to contain
It's fine. You can't help it, my guy. But yeah, should be a good match. Could be a dark horse for the pay-per-view, but we have 2 big slobber knockers coming up. Speaking of the women's match, we do have the Women's Elimination Chamber, which, unlike the men's, is for the actual championship. Something that Alexa Bliss was very upset about, and likened the sexist remarks of
That was
WWE.
the weirdest promo.
It was weird, but I kind of liked it.
I didn't like Angle's rebuttal.
No,
It never occurred to me to compare you to Brock Lesnar. Oh, nice.
Yeah.
Thanks, Kurt. That's fair.
So yeah, we have the Women's Elimination Chamber in there. We have Bayley, Sasha, Mickey, Mandy, and Sonya. That's just how bland and how replaceable they are. That
Right.
I always mix them up. They're just two blonde girls. That's Liv and Mandy. I like Liv more, but
I like Mandy more, even though she's
Hi,
awful
Cammy.
in the ring.
Hi, Cammy.
Oh, God. Talking about the actual talent.
I mean, they're products of WWE for sure.
Yep.
But yeah, and then obviously we have Alexa Bliss in there as well, defending her championship. There are surprisingly a lot of different storylines going into this chamber. And
It's
I
weird
say
how
that,
everyone has like a partner going into it.
yeah, and I say that surprisingly because we have been accustomed to either let's throw all the women in here or we're just going to have this one feud with the women. But over the last little bit, we have seen a mid-card kind of developing between the women. So the storylines going into this match, we have obviously the most, I think the biggest one and the best one that I like, Bayley and Sasha. Whatever's going to happen between the two, hopefully
It better be a
WrestleMania.
gosh darn heel turn.
Right. Hopefully a heel turn there. Hopefully, I would love. Well, we'll get into that later.
Yeah.
We have the Bayley and Sasha thing going on, and then we have because they're kind of off on their own, but the other four are kind of intertwined in their own thing because it's like Alexa's trying to get back with Mickey.
And on Raw, they were back together.
They were back together.
Yeah.
Mickey finally kind of accepted it and went to go help Alexa. Which doesn't necessitate a heel turn or face turn by either one. It's just they are. I like the idea of the booking. It's just not believable that they are trying to team up. That the only way they can beat Absolution is to team up with each other. But yeah, you do have, like you said, Nick, the partners. So Bayley and Sasha, even though there is animosity and tension between the two. And then you have Bayley or Mickey and Bliss, and then you do have Mandy and Sonya.
Yes.
So it should be interesting to see. It'll be interesting to see where they put the ladies as well, because I don't think they'll do like back-to-back teams and stuff. I think they'll obviously put Absolution together because they are better together than they are
very much so
singles. So Nick, give me your prediction on this cluster of a match.
I got Alexa winning. It's like I was saying with Nia going to the title match at Mania. We're gonna see Nia versus Alexa finally in a big payoff.
Yeah, cool beans. Nick or Damien?
Yeah,
I'm tired.
I have to agree with Nick. Alexa Bliss is gonna win.
I don't want it to happen, but it's gonna happen.
Yeah, but I'll save more for my finisher because I was gonna talk about it more.
Okay.
Yeah.
Hopefully, I don't steal your finisher because I think Sasha's gonna win, and I think it'll come down to Sasha.
You think it's gonna happen, or are you just really hoping? Because
I
I would hope that she would win.
Both.
Yeah.
More hoping than thinking, but. You know what? I'm gonna go for it. I'm gonna say Sasha's gonna win, and it's gonna be Sasha and Bayley, and then you're gonna see this sadistic kind of side come out of Sasha, and then she'll end up cutting a heel promo on Raw, and then that'll kind of solidify. But what I think is gonna happen is probably it is gonna be like Mickey and Bliss, and then the two girls from Absolution, and then they single out Mickey and pin her, and then Alexa can't do anything, and then they defeat her.
That'd
and
be
then
cool.
And then it ends up just being Bayley and Sasha at the end. So, yeah, that's my prediction. Speaking of women, we do have the contract signing, and contract signings are always interesting in WWE because there's always they all sign contracts. It's just the big ones get put on. Not even on pay-per-view. I can't remember the last time a contract signing happened on a pay-per-view.
We were laughing last night, me and Tyler, because it's like Ronda Rousey signs a contract
Right.
versus a piece of paper. Nice.
I mean, it is said that her first match will be at Mania, which
Has to be.
should be.
Needs to be.
Should be. Do you guys... I can't think of anything that would happen in particular?
I think that they're just going to set up the Triple H and Stephanie animosity between them and Ronda.
Yeah. That's probably what's going to happen.
Honestly, that's all I had written down in my prediction.
I was going to say, that's the only route I could think of.
Yeah. She's not going to come out, sign the paper, and walk away. It's not.
For sure.
That's not an option.
And I just can't think of anybody, like any of the women's wrestlers that would call her out necessarily.
Yeah, unless like some kind of like jobber that isn't on TV. I can't think of one, to be honest with you.
And I don't think they would do anything with Charlotte, because I think if they are going to stick with Ronda being in that feud, I think they want to keep away from Ronda and Charlotte as far as possible, because I think we all agree that is the marquee match that everybody's waiting for. But yeah, I don't know. We'll see what happens. But we'll see what happens in the Elimination Chamber.
Your segues are getting weaker and weaker.
I know. Well, I didn't try to even segue into that one. I just knew that I was being sarcastic, because we all know what's going to happen at the Chamber.
Yes.
So we do have the first ever 7-man Elimination Chamber match. We have Braun, Roman Reigns, John Cena, Elias, The Miz, Finn Balor, and then Seth putting himself in there, making Seth Rollins the 7th man in the match. Once again, a lot of different storylines, and I know that this kind of match really feeds into, you are able to put in a lot of different storylines in here.
Isn't it kind of hilarious that Miz was punished with getting the first entrant in the match, and now he's one of 3 starting the match? He's not like punished anymore. He's just like 1/3 of the guys that have to start the match.
I mean, it's not really a punishment to be number 1 or 2.
Because now there's 3 guys. It's like it's not even relevant that you are first. It's just you're one of 3 guys.
And I mean, I don't even know why they make a big deal about being number 1, because like if you're number 2, you're still in there. You know what I mean?
Yeah. The match starts at the same time.
Right. And you obviously have to have these 2 go at each other. But I'm just wondering if they're making a big deal about that to make The Miz kind of the survivor of the match.
Like the underdog, but not underdog because he's a heel type of deal. Yeah.
I hate to use the word Iron Man in so many different situations, but make him, that
But I could also just as easily see Seth do the Iron Man gimmick again in the Chamber, just to kind of make that his gimmick of workhorse, never say die guy.
If WWE decides to go with that.
And it would be just like them to have, Seth beat Roman this past week on Raw. Roman's got to get that win back and pin him in the end of the match.
Of course.
I could definitely see that happening again.
So you think it'll be those 2 last?
I think so.
Probably.
Yes.
You think so?
I think if it's not Cena and Roman, it's going to be Roman and Seth.
Cool. Yeah, I don't know who else. I mean, I'm wondering how they're going to get Braun out of there. If they're just going to have everybody go.
Probably do one of those like Mark Henry, Big Show, multiple finisher spots that they always do.
Yeah, but I feel like this is a situation where everybody in this match is kind of in it for themselves. So like they would just, I don't know. I feel like they all have too much pride and too much ego to like have to team up against Braun, especially when
not necessarily team up, but he just like stumbles into the AA and into the spear, into the blackout,
or Roman spears him through a pod, and then they just start. Pushing
definitely.
I want to see Braun tear those pods up,
dude.
Just start smashing them with his bare hands,
right?
Start breaking chains and stuff
with his hands.
Yeah,
because we do have the padded. The new padded Elimination
Oh yeah, I forgot
Chamber.
About that.
Yeah, it's
that leaves a lot more fun for Braun.
It leaves
go crazy,
right? And it leaves a lot more cool spots to be done as well, because it is safer. Which rightly so. It should, I do want my wrestlers to be safe.
Yeah, I think that opens a big door for both Braun and Seth in this match. Yeah, they can do whatever they want. A lot of options.
I do think that Seth will probably be the spot guy in this match. I do honestly think they are going to showcase him quite a bit. And I hope that they do, rightfully so.
I like this. If this becomes his gimmick as like the workhorse of Raw, Monday Night Rollins would be a really cool way to go about it.
Right. Well, can we all just on 3 say who we think, just for the record? 3, 2, 1. The
Roman wins. Oh.
Yeah, Roman. I mean, it's been.
Can you imagine if Miz won?
Could you?
That would be like the biggest swerve since Taker losing at Mania. Cannot imagine the world would happen.
So should be not a great pay-per-view, but I'm excited for that match. I think the women's Elimination Chamber could be cool as well. So
yeah,
Nick.
Yes, sir.
Do you have a question of the week for us?
I do. This week, we're looking towards the future. Looking towards probably.
I'm excited for the future.
Not necessarily the distant future, but more of just this kind of this year. Hopefully this year, I guess.
Okay.
Who do you guys think will be the next first-time world champion? Someone who's never held a Universal or WWE title.
This year?
Yeah, I mean just next. The next person to hold it for the first time.
I already have my answer.
I think the last person was Finn Balor. Was the first person, or it might have been AJ Styles. I don't know. Probably AJ. Because Finn won it at SummerSlam. AJ won it in the fall of that year. So I probably AJ Styles.
Who's your answer?
You know what's the year of? It's the year of Apollo.
You really?
No.
I have Apollo or I have Kofi Kingston. One or the other is going to win it for the first time.
I'd like Kofi
A world
better.
championship?
Yeah. I'd say one of those two will win it through Money in the Bank, I think.
Okay. Damien?
I had an answer. Oh! It's going to be Rusev, boy.
Of course.
It's
Yeah.
Rusev Day.
I think depending on what happens at TakeOver, because I was talking to Casey Johnson of Emerge with this, and
Name
I was
drop.
like, I'm excited to see Aleister Black win.
You think he'll be the next one?
No, I was like, I'm excited to see Aleister Black win the championship, and Casey was thinking that they're going to call up Aleister Black. And so depending on what happens at TakeOver, I would think Aleister Black would be the next new champion. I think as soon as he gets put to the main roster, pushed to the moon. Either that or Braun Strowman.
Yeah, Braun was probably the easier option.
I was gonna say Braun,
easiest option.
I was gonna say because Braun and Roman obviously already writes itself. So
Not finished.
what?
They're not finished.
Never finished. He's gonna get those hands,
Which,
baby.
yeah.
So Damien, we're gonna wrap up this episode. But
Thank
I
goodness
need
it's
you-
late.
I know,
Oh,
right? And this went.
Ethan says hi.
Ethan
by
says
the
hi.
way.
Ethan does.
We miss you,
Best
buddy.
wishes.
This went surprisingly long. Actually, I didn't know.
We didn't have that much.
We
And
didn't have that much to talk about, but we were able to. So Damien, wrap it up with a finisher.
Well, we were talking about Asuka versus Nia. So I had Asuka winning. Asuka's going to go to SmackDown to face Charlotte.
Yep.
Nia's going to get pissed off, and she's going to demand a number one contenders match. So I had Alexa Bliss winning. So that whoever, they're going to have probably maybe a small, like little bitty tournament or something. Nia Jax will win. And then in the Elimination Chamber, you'll see Bayley and Sasha finally go at it. Whoever turns heel, maybe neither one of them will go. It'll probably be Sasha, but they're just gonna like be at each other's throats, and then they'll just be like, "Oh well, who's better?" So then those two will go, and then that leaves Absolution and Mickey. Who cares? They're not gonna do anything.
Women's armbar. First ever women's
That's
armbar.
what I was actually about to say that, Nick. Oh, but it was gonna be like the Fabulous Moolah Battle Royal or something.
Nick.
My finisher. We were talking about Seth Rollins being relatively directionless going into Mania. Well, it's like I was saying, I want him to be built up as the big babyface of WWE with his in-ring work and his character as a whole, just kind of the underdog that does all the cool spots and just all the kids love him because he's that guy.
Yeah.
And I think that this will lead to a shocking surprise return from Dean Ambrose leading up to WrestleMania. I don't know if it'll be at the Chamber. I don't know if it'll be in some kind of a maybe match. If Seth wins it, then he gets put in the title match against Roman and Brock. Something, but then just to stomp on his dreams and to come back as a full-fledged heel to feud with Seth going into Mania would be Dean Ambrose. Because his injury seemed sort of not fake, but it seemed like it was like Braun Strowman last summer where they said he's out for 6-7 months and he comes back in 2 weeks. So I guess I'm doing that as a work again to have Dean come back from injury early, quote unquote, to screw over Seth Rollins and start a big feud with him.
I like it.
Thanks,
John.
John.
I think this is bold, but I think our dreams are gonna come true a lot faster than we previously had.
Paul's
hoped.
gonna win the championship.
I think within maybe not this year. What year is it? 2018?
Sure is.
Within the next 2 years, I think Triple H will take control of probably SmackDown.
Whoa.
I think depending on seeing how well Triple H does with 205 Live and how well he's already done with it, we actually have a watchable show now. Something that's not a task to do. I think we've already seen, we had what? Maybe a month after Vince McMahon announces the XFL. A month after saying, this will not change my duties in the NFL or in the WWE at all. A month after he relinquishes already some of his creative control. And while it is 205 Live, granted, and it's something that Vince McMahon probably doesn't care about necessarily, I think it's leading down a slippery slope, and I think the XFL is going to be a lot bigger endeavor than Vince McMahon previously thought. Triple H is already assembling a team to take over, so I think probably before the launch of the XFL, Triple H will at least take over SmackDown. And Raw is still going to be Vince's baby, and to be honest, Raw will probably
deserves to be.
And it deserves to be as much flack as we give Vince McMahon for what he does to the show. Raw is the sports entertainment aspect of it, and I hate using that word just because especially Mauro Ranallo. I love him, but like on NXT he says sports entertainers and like all that stuff all the time, and it makes me so mad. But yeah, I think Triple H will take control of SmackDown within the start of the XFL.
I like it.
I hope so.
Yeah.
That would be cool. But yeah, that is gonna do it for this week's episode of the... Am I forgetting something?
No.
Oh,
I'm waiting for you to botch the ending.
I'm not gonna botch the ending.
Okay.
You just botched it for me.
Oh.
But that is gonna do it for this week's episode of the Four Corners Podcast. Go ahead and follow us on all of our social media, on Twitter, on Facebook. Interact with us. Subscribe to us on YouTube. And from everyone here at the Four Corners Podcast, have a beautiful night.